Hi everybody, it's Deborah with Salvage Sister and Mister, and it's Monday, Leap Day. So I'm hoping that today I don't have any Periscope issues because I definitely had them last week. Thank you guys so much for joining. And today we're going to talk, it's going to be probably a pretty quick scope unless there's any questions, but I wanted to kind of go over stock photography for blogging. So this really is going to be probably more of a blogging scope than anything else. I guess maybe if you have a shop and you need stock photography, this might be helpful for you. But and I was going to try and see if I could get my my computer over so I can show you, but I know that with Periscope it gets a little bit particular on, it gets a little wavy for you to see, so I'll show anybody if you have any questions. But I wanted to talk to you today about how to not only find some stock photography, but also how I'm making the change over to having it on my computer for easy storage. So I'm Deborah with Salvage Sister and Mister, and our site is about, thank you guys for the hearts, our site is about making the most with what you've got. Hi Pam, how are you? I've been watching your scopes, I really like them. So yeah, if you guys are not following, follow Over the Big Moon to get some wonderful scopes. She's had some really great scopes. Okay, so stock photography. All right, so stock photography is really important in blogging, and I didn't realize how important it is because you can't always have a wonderful picture of what you're doing. I always thought, when I first started blogging, which hasn't been that long ago, and we have Scope Kitty that's coming over. But I thought that, I would just have to take the pictures of what I was going to be doing because most of my projects are my projects and not somebody else's. But there are times when you're doing blog posts that you can use any beautiful image. So in that case, stock photography works really well. And you can get stock photography in many different areas. And if you guys have a good one that you want to put up in the chat, feel free to do that. I'm going to tell you an inexpensive way because we are on a blog, like probably the smallest blog budget in US history. It's really, really, really tight. We don't have a lot of money to put towards the blog right now. So if you want free stock photography, there are a couple of sites that you can get some free photography. And so what I do when I get those is I go ahead and I put as soon as I get that image, and as long as I can use it for business, and that is something that you want to take a look at and see if you can use that. Yeah, I know, it really is. It can be, you have to be really looking at what the terms and conditions are as far as if you can use that for business use. If you can, save it as stock photography, and then so I have a folder, and that's what I was going to try and show you on the computer, but I don't think it's really going to come up. So yeah, exactly. So I think this might be helpful because because there are a lot of leeriness. There's a little bit of leeriness to some of the free stuff. But so if you get some stock photography, go ahead and save it as stock photography. Get a folder, stock photography, categorize it. So if it's food, DIY, computer, or office, or whatever, have a category for that, and then name it. So, if it's a nature, have your stock photography, nature, and then flower. That way it's just going to be so easy to find. So here's what I think is a really helpful tip is that there are a lot of people who like to take pictures. A lot of people that like to take pictures. And so I think Facebook is a really great way to connect with Your friends put up pictures all the time. And so if they're just a hobby photographer, ask them. Ask them if they don't mind. Oh, that was a beautiful sunset picture that you have. Do you mind if I would ever use that? And if they say yes, like I wouldn't do this with, everybody in your Facebook profile, but if you have a few friends that like photography, ask them, because they might be, unless they're in it, and they're like, don't take advantage of people. But if they're just, they took one or two, pretty pictures and they, would be thrilled to have that on your site, then ask them. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is that how many of us take pictures that are on our, cards or in our computer system that we've taken, that are actually nice pictures. So go back through your own pictures and look for stock photography. It's crazy. It's not that big of a tip, but it is a big tip, because it's amazing how much of, we're practicing our pictures all the time. Nobody intends to take a bad picture. And so go through how many of us have just tons and tons and tons of pictures on our computer. So go through those, some night when you're watching television or something, go through those pictures and start labeling them for stock photography for you. That way they're segregated to a file folder, and they're categorized by nature, food, whatever categories you use on your site. But I would have a folder. So that's kind of a couple of really easy ways to find stock photography that maybe we haven't thought about. So, ask friends if you see a nice picture, if you can use that, and go through your own computer. So as far as organization, I'll just recap real quick. Have a file folder that's stock photography. Go into that stock photography folder and have subfolders that are going to have your nature, DIY, office, all the categories on your blog that you cover should have a file folder that would have stock photography. So then you're going to go ahead and you're going to put in, those folders, so it's really accessible to find a piece of stock photography real easily when you're doing a blog post. So that's kind of it. It's a really simple thought process, but when I started kind of stumbling through trying to find stock photography and I was looking through my computer, I'm like, oh, I could use this. And I thought, oh, yeah. So simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the best things, right? So anyways, if you guys, like I said, if you have any stock photography tips or anything, you guys can feel free to share them. You can also tweet them to me, but if you guys want to share them with each other, that's fine. I'm all about finding some reasonable priced stock photography. And if you have a friend, I would expand on that. If you have a friend who is learning photography, maybe see if you can shout them out on your Facebook page if they're, just starting a website in exchange for some stock photography, or, just strike up a deal with them and maybe say, if you can shoot these kinds of images, I'll pay you X amount of dollars, per month for so many images or whatever. Probably not a per month, but, for every 20 images, I'll give you this much. That way it's a win-win. You don't want to take advantage of anybody, but a lot of times, somebody will throw up a picture and you're like, oh yeah, that would be perfect for my site. So you guys, that's what I have for you today. If, like I said, if you guys have any great stock photography tips, I'd love to hear them. You can tweet me at SalvageSis, and it's actually in my Periscope title. So you can find me there, and also at our site, salvagesisterandmister.com. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Bye, guys.